Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, I-95 rollover. This is a live look from the WRAL breaking news tracker at the crash that happened this morning around 12:30. The cleanup of tons of blackberries and the impact to the morning commute.
Temperatures today well above normal, but when you pair that with a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, it puts us in the dangerous zone for the next several days. I'll show you what it will feel like.
And summer safety when we're talking about those temperatures climbing and the heat index at dangerous levels as summer camps get underway. What you can do to keep your children cool and healthy. Got to prepare for it today as we head into our Wednesday together. And look at this live look right here. Sunrise, it's just so gorgeous out there right now. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Yes, a beautiful start to our day, but it is going to be a scorcher of an afternoon. Get ready to walk out into oven heat. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. It's 80 degrees right now.
At least it's pretty to start with. This is a live look at RDU, and you can see these pretty clouds there that the sun is reflecting on with some pretty color for the sunrise. 78 right now, 71 is our dew point, so it is very heavy, sticky air mass heading out the door. 76 Fayetteville, Rocky Mount, and Goldsboro, 72 in Roxborough. We do have a small chance for thunderstorms today. It's not going to be enough rain to cool anyone down. The rain starts in the mountains and comes rushing our way and really just fizzles out before it gets here. Hour by hour, our forecast this afternoon climbs to 96 at 3 o'clock, but even at lunchtime, 91. So not a good day for spending your lunch hour outside. And when you figure in the heat index, it feels like 102 to 104 in the middle of the afternoon. But if you're planning to get out around 6 or 7, it's still going to feel like the 90s. We get a small break with a front tomorrow. And then after that, into next week, we could see the first 100-degree day, the hottest of the year. I'll show you what the heat index will feel like to go along with that. Coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 6:01, want to get right to that breaking news we've been following since we've been on the air at 4:30 this morning. This crash involving a tractor trailer in the northbound lanes of I-95 near US 301 there in Kenly. And that's where we find WRAL Kelly, Ali Catlabar, and Michael joining the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. So, Ali, set the scene for us and walk us through what happened.
Yeah, and I know we reported just about 30 minutes ago that it appeared that the tractor trailer in the distance behind me, it was finally flipped upright. Well, in the past 15 minutes, we were able to take Drone 5 up there and get a closer look, and it's still on its side. Now, this happened multiple hours ago. It happened at 12:30, so it's been flipped over for the past 5.5 hours. And you can see in this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker that there 3 tow trucks at the scene with multiple cables trying to lift this 18-wheeler and flip it upright. It's carrying tons of blackberries, so just making it an even heavier load to deal with. Now, Highway Patrol tells me this happened at 12:30. The driver crashed into the guardrail and then overturned the 18-wheeler. The driver was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and Highway Patrol says that that driver was charged with driving under the influence. Now, we know that this is a very long process underway. Highway Patrol says it could take several hours, so we could see this stretch, at least one lane closed on I-95 and Kenly for the next 6 more hours. So we're going to keep you guys updated throughout the morning. Another issue is that it was leaking possibly diesel, so they may have to tackle that as well. We're going to keep you updated. And Ken, tell us what alternate routes people should take. We know that exit into Kenly is closed right now. What should people do? Yeah,
the good news is that crash is not stopping traffic at all. But if you're in a rush this morning, maybe you have family coming in on I-95 northbound, they should get off on a Highway 301 exit before they get to Kenly. That's your best bet in terms of coming north on into the capital city. So Highway 301 is the best bet in terms of really getting around that crash there on I-95. But really and truly, back here in Wake County, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown on those I-87 lanes coming in out of Nightdale, but nothing that's going to make you late this morning. You're getting ready to head into the cartoonist in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. High heat on the way today. Dangerous in some instances as far as the heat index, right as kids begin summer camps. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live this morning in Crowder County Park in Apex. Parents, we want them to be aware and prepare their kids for this heat, Kelsey.
Yes, Jeff, they do need to be prepared. Kids will come here to Crowder County Park throughout the summer to experience nature. And we know that that extreme heat is on the way. We just heard Elizabeth say feel like temperatures today are in the 100s, and parents should definitely be sending their kids to camp with a whole lot of water. Now, data shows that younger children have a harder time regulating their body temperature. Here are some ways you can help keep them cool. Give them water-rich food like watermelon, berries, and cucumbers. You also need to make sure playground equipment is not overheated. Elizabeth just said that temperatures are in the 90s this week, and when the air temperature is 90 degrees, pavement, slides, and swing sets can get above 130 degrees, and that can be very, very dangerous for kids. There's going to be a lot of humidity this week, so you can find out how much that will add to this heat on Ask the Meteorologist at 7:15 this morning on Fox 50. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Apex.
An inmate is back in custody after escaping from the back of a police car in Fayetteville. Randy Locklear was being transported for questioning when he kicked out the car's window to get away. Now, WRAL obtained photos of the moments after police captured him and spoke with a woman who spotted him during his attempted escape. So after getting out of the car, Locklear made his way through a woman's backyard and ended up in her pool. Lindsay Moats saw him and called 911, thinking he was having a health issue. She did not realize the seriousness of the situation until the operator asked a specific question that raised a red flag.
They asked me if I thought I saw a handcuff on him. And I was like, well, that's an odd question to ask. And, you know, reviewing the video that we took later, I did definitely see a handcuff on one hand.
And there it was. Locklear was initially in custody in connection to a robbery investigation and had an active warrant for a probation violation out of Harnett County. He will face additional charges related to the escape.
A Wake County elementary school employee faces misdemeanor child abuse charges. Betsy Maddox is accused of grabbing a student by the neck and shoving him to the ground. It happened at Smith Magnet Elementary School, where she works as a substitute. According to arrest records, this incident happened back in May. The principal of Smith Magnet says the school takes the safety of students and staff seriously. Maddox was suspended with pay while the district conducts an investigation.
Today, a civil rights group will expand on claims that singer R. Kelly's life is in jeopardy at the federal prison in Butner. R. Kelly was hospitalized last week after his lawyer says prison officials purposely gave him an overdose of medication, calling it an assassination attempt. Michelle McConaughey is here now with more on these claims. Michelle.
Yeah, Renee, the filing from Kelly's legal team says he took his regular dose of medication on June 12th, but was later instructed by prison staff to take additional medication. It goes on to state that the next day, Kelly fell to the ground and lost consciousness. He was taken by ambulance to Duke Hospital, where he stayed for 2 days. His lawyers say they learned that he had been administered an overdose quantity of his medications that threatened his life. The filing then claims prison officials forced the singer to leave the hospital and return to prison against his will and against the directives of the doctors. Kelly's legal team is seeking an emergency release from prison. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says they do not comment on pending litigation. Kelly is serving 2 federal sentences at Butner Correctional Facility here in North Carolina. Representatives for civil rights groups True Healing Under God and the Hymn to Movement plan to hold a news conference this morning at 10:30 at that prison.
Thanks, Michelle. New video overnight appears to show Iranian air defenses repelling rockets over the capital city of Tehran. That is after Israel warned about a series of impending strikes in that area. The footage is from an Iranian media outlet. It shows flashes and explosions in the sky. And on X, the Israeli military told residents in Tehran's 18th district to evacuate, warning of strikes against military infrastructure there. This also comes as a barrage of missiles from Iran hit central Israel today. More than 200 people have been killed in Iran since Israel's initial strike last week, and more than 20 people have been killed in Israel. Durham County EMS is honoring one of its own paramedics tonight after she suffered a catastrophic brain injury. Officials with the department say Whitney Rogers will not be able to meaningfully recover from her injuries, and that her final heroic act was to be an organ donor. Rogers had been with Durham County EMS since 2020. The department says it is hosting an honor walk at Duke University Medical Center tonight as she goes into surgery. The walk starts at 9 p.m.
Covering Wake County, the Wake County Sheriff's Office is hosting a First Responders Appreciation Breakfast this morning. The event will honor the service of local law enforcement, EMS firefighters, and other first responders. The event will run from 7 until 9 this morning. It's being held at Universal Chevrolet in Wendell.
Florida Panther hockey fans have a lot to be happy about this morning. They took to the streets overnight to celebrate the Panthers' second straight Stanley Cup win. The Panthers hoisted the cup after beating the Edmonton Oilers in Game 6 on their home ice, 5-1 the final, led by Sam Reinhart, who became the first player in nearly 70 years to score 4 goals in a single Stanley Cup final game. Those repeats, so hard to do. 10 after 6 right now, no more dyes. Kraft Heinz is joining a long list of companies phasing out artificial dyes. The timeline for the company's plan and the reason the decision was made.
And cannabis regulations. State lawmakers are set to vote on a bill that restricts the sale of THC products for people under 21. We'll explain where the bill could run into trouble.
And temperatures warm up fast today, already at lunchtime, feeling like almost 100. The heat index brings us all the way up to 104 this afternoon. Coming up, we'll talk about when we may get a slight break. .13, it's a steamy start out there this morning, and so already temperatures in the upper 70s to around 80, so it'll be a quick warm up into the 90s this afternoon. Here's a look at RDU, and you can see some cloud cover, some blue sky, so partly cloudy as you're heading out the door. This afternoon, there's a minimal chance for thunderstorms. The storms will develop across the mountains and move our way, but really fizzle out before they reach us. Town by town, temperatures are mainly in the mid to upper 70s right now. It's a little cooler, 72 in Roxborough, but 78 in Durham, 76 in Garner and Rocky Mount, 78 right now in Goldsboro. Hopefully, if you're doing something outside today, it is the pool, because pretty much anything else would be on the dangerous side. We'll see highs in the mid 90s, but with the heat index, it's likely to feel like 104 in the middle of the afternoon. I'll show you why that heat keeps building over the weekend. Coming up, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now with the WRAL Traffic Center. Your window onto your morning commute has a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. These are the westbound lanes moving away from us. Traffic is beginning to pick up, but flowing nicely in all directions. In terms of other routes connecting to I-40 this morning, westbound in particular, coming in from Johnston County Highway 42, that southern loop of the Beltline, all delay-free, as well as Wade Avenue. Many of you use I-540 as an alternate east-west route, but look at this, delay-free from Lewisburg Road all the way over to I-40. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio. We've got you covered. 101.5 HD3.
Ken, I'll go ahead and bring our viewers into the WRAL Live Center. Good morning. I'm Chris Lovingood. Another story that we're kind of following kind of goes into what we were discussing regarding the Israel-Iran conflict happening in the Middle East, where Iran is preparing missiles for a possible retaliatory strike on U.S. bases, according to officials there. But to be specific, this is if, and I'll highlight this New York Times article here, if the United States joins Israel's war against the country, according to American officials there. But I want to show you some of the video from just the last few days of the airstrike, and this is from Tehran's perspective. Essentially trying to shoot down missiles from Israel that are coming into the capital of Iran. We're watching very closely to see how the situation continues to appear to escalate and see if there's any sort of either ceasefire or some kind of de-escalation tactic that could come in the coming weeks.
Chris, thank you. Kraft Heinz is the latest company to announce plans to remove synthetic dyes from its products. The company says it will remove FD&C colors by the end of 2027 and will no longer launch any products in the U.S. with artificial dyes. This move comes amid growing pressure from the FDA across the food industry to cut down on chemical dyes.
What the FDA is trying to do is to eliminate petroleum-based food dyes. Certain things that are associated with either carcinogens or irritation in the stomach or hypersensitivity, or one of them specifically related to potential genetic changes.
Not good for our bodies. According to Kraft Heinz, nearly 90% of its current products are already free of these FD&C colors.
A candlelight vigil is being held tonight at the Minnesota State Capitol in honor of the state lawmaker and her husband who were shot and killed. Yesterday, the bodies of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark, who's a Raleigh native, were taken from the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's office to the funeral home. In the days since their deaths, people across Minnesota, as well as here in the Triangle, have been paying respects to the couple. Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette were also shot but survived. The suspected shooter has been arrested and charged.
For the first time, we're getting an idea of what the former DMV headquarters on New Bern Avenue in Raleigh could become. After nearly 2 years of feedback from the community, the city of Raleigh says it wants to incorporate affordable housing, healthy food options, and a community space in that building. Now, that building has been vacant since 2020 when, you may remember, employees moved to Rocky Mount. The city of Raleigh bought the property last year.
And we're putting back into the community what the community desires and would like to see to help uplift it and move it forward.
The buildings will be demolished this time next year.
As early as today, lawmakers in the state Senate could pass a bill regulating the sale of intoxicating cannabis products in North Carolina. That bill would ban the sale of THC products like gummies or vapes or drinks to anyone under the age of 21. It would also limit the amount of THC in those products and require manufacturers to test them. Products would be overseen by the ALE. The measure could face pushback in the House because their bill doesn't go this far.
Organizers will gather at the federal building in Raleigh this morning to speak out against the federal budget proposal making its way through Congress. The event is being put on by the group Democracy Out Loud. It says organizers and other concerned citizens will speak out against proposed cuts to programs such as Medicare, Medicaid, food assistance, and disaster relief. This event is scheduled to last from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
19 minutes after the hour right now. We are closing in on that summer solstice, right? So it's getting lighter earlier. It looks great out there, but it is hot.
And you know, with that extra daylight, there's more sunshine. And so that is why we're starting to heat things up. So kind of a double-edged sword. One thing about it, we're definitely seeing some of the hottest temperatures that we've seen so far this season. Heat impact on your body is cumulative. So the more days in a row that we see this heat, the worse things can be and the more likely you are to have heat-related illnesses. If you want to get outside, now's the time to do it while it's still on the cool side. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill, all looking beautiful. Chapel Hills, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. We do have the chance of some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, but it's really a minimal chance. We have some thunderstorms that'll pop up over the mountains and make a run for us. Watch this. At lunchtime into the afternoon, you can see those showers and storms developing, heading our way, and then just fizzling out. So that's not going to be much help to cool us down. And our mid-afternoon and evening temperatures are going to be dangerously hot for any exercise. We look ahead to tomorrow. We begin to see some changes. A cold front comes in. This is our next weather maker. It is a WRAL weather alert day for tomorrow. Isolated wind damage and heavy rain are possible. So we may get a little bit of a break from the heat for both Thursday and maybe even into Friday. And then it really intensifies for us over the weekend. Here's Futurecast for tomorrow. We'll move things ahead and we're going to see that chance of some afternoon and evening thunderstorms. I'm going to back it up and we're going to try this again. Starting at lunchtime, we may see just a few isolated clouds out there. We'll pause things here as we get through the afternoon. And then you can start to notice some of the thunderstorms popping up. Again, this is going to be for tomorrow. During the evening commute, it's mainly going to be up near the Virginia line, but you can watch how those thunderstorms develop and move southward across our area as we head into the evening. So this is going to be a late afternoon evening event. It is a level 2 risk for most of our viewing area. A level 2 risk means that we'll see scattered storms. Most of them will be short-lived, but we could have some wind damage out of this system. Likely to be late evening. Again, some flooding possible with the system as well. So we take a look at our weather app. If you haven't downloaded our WRAL weather app, it's a great time to do so with the chance for some severe storms tomorrow. If you set the alerts, it'll let you know when severe storms are headed your way. First day of summer on Friday, but the heat really intensifies as we get over to the weekend. We could be coming close to the first triple-digit temperatures of the year with extreme heat danger. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit.
It hurts just thinking about it.
It does.
All right, Elizabeth, thanks. Hey, let's start outside, shall we? Give you a live look at I-40 and Wade Avenue. Those are the westbound lanes moving away from us, flowing nicely in both directions. Similarly, in Durham, I-885 Ellis Road, no delays to report there on I-885, and that's the case throughout the Bull City in terms of major routes heading into the Bull City. Very little to no delays whatsoever. Similarly, coming into the capital city, all those major routes, 87 US 1, all delay-free. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we have a live report about this crash on I-95 in the northbound lanes down there in Kenley. We'll let you know how to get around the slowdowns. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
6:22, possible TikTok reprieve. President Trump is considering extending the deadline for TikTok to sell yet again. Why he's willing to do so.
Getting the right seat. 5 on your side breaks down the important things to keep in mind as you shop for your child's high chair.
And ahead on today, as more and more people turn to AI, Savannah Silers takes a look at the impact this technology will impact jobs and transform the workplace.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Hollywood stars being honored for their decades-long careers, and another getting a chance to meet one of the top religious leaders in the world.
This is pretty cool. Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Ken.
Hey, Jeff and Renee, a number of big Hollywood stars are set to receive honorary Academy Awards. Some of the biggest names include Tom Cruise and Dolly Parton. Cruise is being recognized for his blockbuster movie career, while Parton will be honored for her charitable work. The Academy is also recognizing actress, choreographer, and dancer Debbie Allen and production designer Wynn Thomas.
Yeah, Tom Cruise never won that coveted Oscar. He has been nominated 4 times, though, including for Born on the 4th of July. Remember that one? That was his first one. And then Jerry Maguire, and then also Top Gun Maverick. But
how's he not won one?
Right?
Tom Cruise.
Well, and that's good that they're honoring his whole career. Then.
Right. Exactly. And while we're on the subject of show business legends, Al Pacino recently having an opportunity to meet Pope Leo XIV at a private event at the Vatican. Pacino met the Chicago-born pontiff alongside the producer of his upcoming film, Maserati, The Brothers.
How does he get to be the first actor to have audience with the Pope?
He's Michael Corleone.
Pacino.
Oh, that's it.
So, they had gift giving. He gave him a little Maserati model for the movie.
Love it.
Very memorable. Well, we are following breaking news on a tractor trailer cleanup. Crews are on I-95 after a truck flipped over this morning around 12:30. The cleanup efforts and why it crashed.
And the heat index will climb into the triple digits today. More of that to come. I'll show you when we get into some extreme heat coming up.